Hey guys, it's me. We're not gonna have crystal clean audio for this video because I'm gonna be using my phone for a good portion of it, so yeah. I am very anxious about this. But this is something that I've been wanting to do for well over a year now, so I'm gonna give this a go. You guys saw the title. I am gonna be testing out different dating apps for a few days. Well, I say for a few days. I'm hoping 2 weeks. It might just wind up being a week. Who knows? I don't know how things are going to work out with this, but we'll find out. About a year ago, I started thinking about possibly downloading a dating app. And I started thinking about it, but the thing that was holding me back from it, I mean, there are a lot of things holding me back from doing it, because, like, one of them is the fact that, like, I'm still in the closet and I'm worried that, like, getting on any of these apps might out me to, like, the people that don't need to know or that I don't want to know about my orientation just yet. So I keep it a secret and whatnot, so just so you guys know and everything. And so I worry that there might be a possibility that if I were to get on one of these apps, that either somebody might try to out me or something might actually wind up happening. And I mean, good for me, as in, like, say, like, I might actually get into a relationship or I might develop a really good friendship or something like that. And then things start tumbling around and I'm winding up having to be forced to come out of the closet. The past year I've been wanting to do this, but it's just been something that I've been, like, putting off to decide, especially these days, because me and hello, we're in the middle of a freaking pandemic. So I was just like, probably not the best thing to do. So going on, like, dating apps and chatting with people and maybe unintentionally sparking something is not something that you necessarily want to be doing right now. I've been stuck here at home, just doing nothing, being bored, being depressed. I'm gonna possibly cause more damage to myself by getting on one of these apps. As I mean, if you watched my Crush the Saga trilogy video that I did a couple of months ago now, then you know that a big reason why I got so down and big reason why I'm still going through a bit of a depression is because of the fact that I met someone through an app, became good friends with them, then I started developing a crush on them, didn't worry about it then, and then things just kept going and 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 going. And by the time I finally got the balls enough to actually try to do something about it, I find out that they moved out of state. So, and when that happened, I got crushed by a crush yet again. So I'm hoping that that doesn't happen again. And is a big reason why I'm also, like, worried about doing this is that I might wind up getting crushed again. A lot of bad things could easily happen with doing this video, but I'm still doing it because I'm bored. Now, honestly, I don't expect a lot to even come out of doing this video, because I think, like, 2 weeks on, like, these types of apps is not going to get me that much interaction at all with people. Because, I mean, like, I do tend to stay off of my phone a lot and away from my phone. Well, I say away from my phone. I always have it near me, but I'm always looking at it and keeping an eye on it and being on it and just messing with it. And also, since I tend to go to bed quite early, because my sleep schedule is really weird right now. Been, like, going to bed between, like, 10 and 11 o'clock at night and then waking up anywhere between 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning. On my own free will. But I'm really wanting to do this because the original inspiration for wanting to do this video, well, to do this experiment really, like, part of me was thinking, like, I might not even do a video for this, but I just want to, like, do this experiment either which way. So, like, either which way, I knew I would wind up doing what I'm going to be doing and starting today. And that is, I am going to be conducting an experiment comparing different dating apps to one another, comparing the environments and the ecologies of these different dating apps and seeing the types of cultures that exist within them. Now, the reason why I'm wanting to do this is because I have always have heard stories of people talking about different apps. Guys telling, like, stories of, like, interactions and experiences that they've had using different apps and whatnot. It's always happened, guys. Even with girls, I've heard like experiences, but obviously I won't ever be able to relate to that because hi, hello, I like dudes. But I've been wanting to like do this though because I've just been curious as to how things differ, because the one app that I have used for like making friends and whatnot, there obviously are a lot of guys on there that are trying to use it for like dating or hookup or to just get like a nude out of somebody. Men are weird, okay? We all should know this by now, but men are very strange. It's piquing my interest. I want to see what type of experiences that I might have, given the fact that at some point in time in the future I do plan on moving, not just like out of this house, finally moving out of my dad's house and getting a place of my own and finally being an adult. But I also really want to be able to move out of state because I don't feel home here in Georgia at all. It just doesn't feel like home to me. So I want to like explore the US and see if there's maybe a different state that I might feel a little bit more comfortable in. Because I mean, I highly doubt I'll even stay here in the US for very long, because one of my goals is like by the time I'm around 40 to like move out to Europe and just live the rest of my days out in Europe. So there's also that. But when the time comes for me to actually move out of this state though and move to another, I'll actually conduct this same experiment in that new state and see how things differ between being here in Metro Atlanta to wherever it may be that I decide to move to, and compare and contrast the environments between the two areas. Compare like the politics here in Georgia to say like Oregon. Like they're very, very different. Since the political environments are very, very different, the people are going to be very, very different. Obviously there are going to be similarities, but the differences are definitely going to be there. Different apps have their own reputations for the types of people that are on them and use them. So I'm curious as to how things may work out on these different apps. Like what are the types of experiences and conversations am I going to have using app A over app B? What are the similarities between them? What are the differences? What are the extreme differences between them? I have my itty bitty old phone right here. This is the iPhone SE, the original SE. And I'm going to show you guys the apps that I have downloaded to do this experiment on. So we have 6 apps that I'm going to be doing this experiment on. And I don't know how long I'll use each individual app. I am going to keep them all on my phone during the entire, hopefully, 2 weeks. The apps that I'm going to be doing this experiment on, we have 6 of them, and those are Tinder, Meet Me, Bumble, Grindr, Hornet, and Scruff. So these are all like fairly similar, but also very different apps. Some of them are a lot more well known, and some of them are not as known. And the app here that I have actually used is Meet Me. I have used Meet Me on and off over the last 2 years. The last time I used it, I think, was early December of 2019. So it's been a minute since I've used it. But when I was using it to like make friends and whatnot. And I did make a couple of friendships through it. 2 of them have really stuck. A few of the other ones have kind of like either fallen off or we haven't just talked in a while. I have them all saved under this little folder here on my phone called Experiment, because that's what this is all about. We're doing an experiment, so they're going to be under a folder called Experiment. And I know I've been babbling on for a hot minute introducing this video and this experiment. I know, I am aware, I'm a rambler. It's finally time to get into actually beginning the experiment. But before we do so, if you guys are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and also definitely give this video a thumbs up because that'll help me out a lot. All my links are down in the description box below for those of you who want to follow me across my different social media links, which are Instagram, Twitter, and my music channel. I think those are the only links that I haven't listed down there now. I don't know. I keep on telling myself that I'm going to edit my description box of all the different links I have down there, but I keep forgetting. So those are the only 3 that are important: my Instagram, Twitter, and my music channel. So check those out if you're interested. Now, the first one that I'm going to pop onto is Meet Me. And I am going to do some screen recording just so you guys can like see like these apps. See, with your profile, you can add photos from here. And then over here, this is the actual page. So this is my page. So my About Me page, and so I have my description. And as you can see at the bottom above the ad that's perpetually there, you see like chat, live, and locals. So locals is going to pull up people that are nearby you. Meet Me is a clusterfuck of an app because it wants to be a friend making app, it wants to be a dating app, it wants to be a live streaming app, it wants to be a regular social media, and yeah. And I already got a message. Like, people tend to hit you up rather quickly once you start becoming a bit more active on here. And yeah, and you can definitely encounter some very interesting people using this app. And he's a straight dude, so I'm just gonna leave him alone. That's actually something that I have experienced a lot with using Meet Me, is that you'll encounter a lot of straight guys on there. Like, if you're a queer dude, you'll experience a lot of straight guys hitting you up. Like, a lot of like straight down low or DL guys hitting you up on there. And it can definitely be annoying because most of these guys are just looking to get their dick wet. So now I guess we'll pop over to, I guess I'll pop onto Tinder first. I find it interesting that when it comes into sexual orientation, it says select up to 3 for the orientation, and you only have about 4 options: straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual. Yet you can click on 3. Okay. Passions. Oh boy. I gotta pick out 5 of these? Okay. 6 out of 9 photos picked out. I think 6 is a pretty good number to have. It's not too many, but it's also not too few. But it's also on the verge of being too many as well. Like, I would say no more than 6 because it's a nice even number. I would say no less than 2, but no more than 6. So you can edit your distance and age range. Ooh. I'd say, I don't think I'll go that young. I'll say 21, because I'm 25. I don't want to be dating teenagers. Alright, so now let's set up a Bumble account. So this is an app that I am not very familiar with at all. Okay, so I'm making my profile on here, and it's reminding me a lot of Tinder already, because it's pretty much having like the same startup thing. And in fact, it looks pretty much the same. Are they owned by the same company? I don't know. Let's see, for Bumble, I'm just gonna put down BFF for now. If I do wind up going through and using this for the 2 weeks, I think I'll do BFF for a week, and then I'll do the date for a week, because you can actually go back and forth and switch modes afterwards, after you get everything set up. So I think I'm going to start it with just BFF. Alrighty, so I have my account on here made. So, well, I have the intro bit to it. You know what? I'm not going to do Hornet, actually. I'm just going to do these ones that I have up here. Hornet is the one that I am the least familiar with. I rarely ever hear people talk about it, so we're not going to do Hornet. So the last 2 are the ones that are like exclusively just like gay ass shit. Let's do Scruff first. So with Scruff so far, I've had to like do like a test to make sure that I'm not a robot, which is a bit interesting, but I guarantee you there are probably bots on here, because there are bots on almost every single one of these types of apps. Ew, then they have a sex section. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that section. I'll tell you this, like, when it comes to like the adding like photos to these apps and everything, it takes a bit of time for them to go through. Didn't think it would take them nearly as long to go through. And now it's time for Grindr. I know this is a very long introduction to this shit. The first part of this video is not going to be interesting, because I mean, like, I'm not going to be showing you guys me using the app at all in this video. And this one is fairly similar to Scruff as well when it comes to like putting in your age. Because with Scruff, it had like the little dial bits to where like you just scroll through to put in your age. And they also have like the I'm not a robot spam tester bot thingy. There's a position, ethnicity, relationship status, and then there's a my tribes thing. Okay. What the fuck is my tribes? Oh, okay, so this isn't like bear, clean cut, daddy, discreet, geek, those types of dudes. Oh, okay. So I have a few photos selected, but they're all pending right now, so I can't show those to you guys, I guess, on my profile just yet. I don't know why. Hopefully those photos will go through. I don't want to be that dude with a blank Grindr profile. So I have all those profiles created. I am going to do some editing to like the background stuff and everything to where like people will be able to see me when I'm not using the app. So that way I get messages whenever and not when I'm just on the app, because I know I probably won't pop onto those apps on the regular, like frequently enough to be able to where I will get messages whenever. So I'll probably just have them running in the background. I guess I'll see you guys in a week or two. So yeah, and I gotta change out of this tank top because I got sweaty a little while ago because I forgot to put on deodorant this morning. Got sweaty a little while ago and I soaked half of this tank top. God, I hate having overactive sweat glands. Okay, so I just want to start out by saying if you hear Roxy barking in the background, I am sorry. I don't know why. She's just popping off right now. Anyways, it's been about 2.5 weeks since I started the experiment. I started this experiment on the 31st of August. It is now currently the 18th. Yes, the 18th of September. So it's been about, like I said, 2.5 weeks. I have a decent amount of stuff to report back on. I actually filmed this part of the video on Monday, right at the 2-week mark, but I felt as if I rambled on way too much because like I was doing my makeup at the same time as me talking about like my results and things like that. Also, my lip is irritated right here, and I just noticed that you can really see that in the viewfinder. Sorry, I started picking out my lip earlier. Don't worry about it. I have a lot of feelings about these different apps. Like each app I have a particular set of thoughts on, and also have had like a particular sets of experiences with, which is what I ultimately was hoping would happen, because I mean the whole point of doing this experiment was to compare and contrast the ecologies of these different apps and the types of people that are using them, because each app has its own reputation. So when I started this experiment I had 5 apps that I was doing this with, and now I am down to 3. Also, yes, I had a new phone. I had that first gen iPhone SE for a little over 4 years, and now have the XR. And boy, is it a massive improvement, not in just terms of like hardware, but also the size. Like this sucker is massive. Beginning of this experiment, we were using Grindr, Scruff, Tinder, Bumble, and Meet Me. I now only have those first 3, so Grindr, Scruff, and Tinder. Before I get into talking about the different experiences with the apps, I do want to touch on things that are very common throughout all of these apps, so like the pros and cons as a whole of using these apps. Then I'll move on into like individual stuff with each app. First thing that I want to talk about is, I guess you could say it's a con, but it can also work as a pro to some people. For me, it's a con because it's just something that I would never consider doing, and that is premium content. That's what I'm referring to it as. It's probably gonna have like some proper terminology used for it, but I'm just gonna call it premium content because it's content that you have to pay for. It's content and accessibility that you have to pay for. Let's put it like that. With all 5 of these apps, you have the option to pay a monthly subscription fee to have access to different features on these apps. So like for an example, like with Bumble and Tinder, it's gonna be like unlimited swipes, unlimited likes, super likes, an undo button, and to be able to view like the people that have viewed and liked your profile on those platforms. I think I could be missing some stuff. I could be getting some things wrong. I don't know. Premium content, like I said, is not something that I looked into much at all. Then with Meet Me, you get access to just stuff that doesn't really matter at all. So I'm not even going to touch on their stuff. With them, it's just like superficial stuff that doesn't matter really. So it's nothing like something that people would actually be interested in buying, or at least that's how I feel about it. And then when it comes to Scruff and Grindr, you get like a larger selection of profiles that you can view. And then I know on Grindr you can view like the people that have viewed your account. And then I think you also get access to some other stuff that I cannot remember. The same thing goes for Scruff, but with Scruff you automatically have access to view the people who have viewed your account and whatnot, but you can pay for like the ability to have private albums on there, which I do think that you can have those for free as well, but I think with paying for the subscription service, I think you have access to a more broad spectrum and wider selection of things that you can have with them and whatnot. I think, again, I didn't really do that much research into these features, so sorry about that. What I noticed though with these features though, which is why I would never like buy into these like features and whatnot, is the fact that they cost a lot of money each month. And so for someone like myself who is just like casually using these types of apps and everything, and especially in my situation where I'm just using them for like experimental purposes and everything, it doesn't seem like reasonable to pay for extra stuff that isn't really going to benefit you. I know with Grindr and Scruff, they have like free trials to like test out these features and everything. Like I think it was about a week ago, Scruff automatically gave me like a free trial of having access to a bunch of other profiles, and I think like I don't even know how many more profiles they gave me access to. And honestly, like after a certain point, it's just like, what's the point? Because the distance is just so far away that it's just like, why? I could understand that if Grindr did that, which I do have like a message from Grindr saying that I have the ability for a 7-day trial of having access to more accounts, which I might take up and just see like whom all else is there, because like with those particular apps you're very limited as to the amount of profiles you can view. So I definitely see the appeal, but if you're using like an app like say like Scruff, for me at least, there's not a whole lot of people within like I'd say like even like a 10 to 15 mile radius of me. Most of the accounts that I wind up finding are about like anywhere from like 15 to even like 40 miles away from me. So having access to more profiles on Scruff just doesn't seem reasonable, whereas having access to more profiles say on Grindr, because I think like the farthest that it goes before I run out of like accounts to view, I think I want to say is maybe like 10 miles. I could be wrong. It might be a little bit more than that. So I could definitely see the appeal of it. So that way, like if you do have a lot of people within like a particular radius that you are interested in traveling and having access to people in, I could definitely see the appeal of it. But is it necessary? And for me, it's not necessary. And same thing goes for like Tinder. With me, like most of the accounts that are on there, I don't even know if I've seen anybody that's like within like 5 or 10 miles from me on Tinder. Almost everybody that I have seen on Tinder is in Atlanta, is like within Atlanta itself, so like 20 to 25 miles away from me. I'm like, why am I gonna pay extra for these apps when the people that I am being shown are super far away from me? It doesn't make sense to me, and it's not going to benefit me. If they were closer to me, then yes, I could definitely see that benefit. Another con that I have about Scruff and Grindr in particular is the fact that like with those particular apps, since it is heavily focused on like the people that are near you and like within like a certain proximity of you, once you like have been on the app for a certain amount of time, you wind up getting a lot less traffic because everybody who uses it that's near you has already seen you and they might not be interested. I mean, things have been pretty quiet for me on Scruff in general, but on Grindr, like the first week and a half, it was very, very active, but now things are just pretty quiet now. Like if anything, I'm maybe getting like one tap or one message a day, if that. Like that's like saying something is actually happening on Grindr. But let's talk about some of the pros of using these apps. One of the pros that I find to these apps is the fact that it can allow you to become a little bit more social. Like if you're someone like myself and you're a accidental recluse, using these types of apps can allow you to actually communicate with actual people. Because for me, since at the absolute most I am using these apps to become really good friends with people, it can definitely help out with like making connections and just chatting with people and allowing yourself to like warm up to people and getting more comfortable with talking with people. Yeah, it's over an app and whatnot, but even still, it can help out your social skills and whatnot because you wind up paying attention to like how it is that you're communicating with people. Also, it allows you to see like just whom all within your area is also queer, which is really nice and comforting because for someone like myself who lives in like a small town, it's comforting knowing that there are other queer people around me that are like out and proud. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, now let's talk about each individual app and my experiences overall with each particular app. And we'll start out with the two apps that I deleted, starting out with Bumble, because Bumble I had for the least amount of time. So Bumble I only had but for not even 3 full days. The reason being is because it's just not for me. When I started the experiment, I started out using Bumble BFF because, like I mentioned, like Friends is like the ultimate most as to what it is that I am looking for on these apps right now. But the problem with Bumble BFF is that they don't cater things to you as to how you would want them to. So if you were trying to find like a particular type of person, like saying like you are looking for someone that is into like the same type of music as you or the same type of movies or video games as you, or if you're like myself and you're trying to find like other queer people to chat with and everything, you would want them to be able to have like filters to where they can find those types of people for you. Yet it doesn't work that way. You just have to like swipe through all of these different people that are looking for friends, and it's just going to pair you up with just random ass people. It's just going to set up random ass accounts of people that are like within like a certain radius of whom all is using Bumble BFF, and you gotta like sift through and try to actually find someone that way. And so I was like, okay, this isn't what I am going for, this isn't what I'm looking for, let me switch over to Bumble Dating. Because with Bumble Dating, I'm going to have a better opportunity and chance to actually make those connections and interactions that I'm looking for. But the problem with Bumble Dating, though, that I noticed was that the guys on there are actually taking it quite seriously. It made me feel very uncomfortable. Like, these are all guys that are looking for actual relationships, and I was using it to try to like make friends and connect with people. It just felt wrong to me. Like, not wrong as in like this shouldn't exist, but wrong as in I shouldn't exist on this platform. And so because of that, I just felt as if I was encroaching on territory that I did not belong in. And then the second app that I deleted was Meet Me. So with Meet Me, I had it for about a week. I deleted it for the same reasons why I stopped using it, like when I stopped using it several months ago. And that is the people on there are just frustrating. Because I learned from my experience when I was using the app back in 2018 to not have my profile photo be a photo of me in a full bead of makeup, because I wound up encountering a lot of chasers. And because of that, it made me feel extremely uncomfortable because you're having like all these straight guys messaging you and hitting on you because of the fact that you are a dude in a face full of makeup. So they're like fetishizing you because of the fact that it's just like, oh, he's very feminine, or they might think that you might be trans, even though like in the photo I have a full blown beard going on. Well, I say a full blown beard, it's like how my beard is right now. So it's just like, this is how my beard has been for like the past few years. Thanks, genetics, you ruined my face. And these straight guys are very like aggressive about it as well. And so it's just like, if you like calling them out and being like, so what's a straight guy doing hitting on another guy? And like, well, it's nice that you're like wanting to experiment and everything. They get so pissed off about it and get very aggressive about it. And it's just like, you are the straight guy hitting on another dude. I am a dude, okay? I am a dude who just so happens to like to wear makeup, okay? Okay? Bro. It just sends them off, and it's scary, it's terrifying. But the thing that still is happening on that platform that annoys me so much is the fact that there are still all these straight guys messaging me wanting to hook up and everything. And it's so annoying that these straight guys are essentially preying off of queer guys on Meet Me, because of the fact that they most likely know that a lot of queer guys have this fantasy of being with straight men and having sex with straight men, because it's like that forbidden fruit that you can't have. And a lot of straight guys probably know of this, and they prey off of that because it's just like all they want to do is get their dick wet. That's all that they want. And it's annoying when you just want to be on a platform and just have a simple conversation with somebody. And because like with me, I think in the week that I was using the app, I think from like the real people that I got messages from, I got like 10 messages from real people. Only one of them wasn't a straight guy. I don't think that I'll ever get back on Meet Me. If I do, it's because I'm just really bored and I'm just wanting to see if there's anybody new on there, which I noticed that there were a lot of new faces on there this time around. But the thing is though, is that I'm going to be encountering a bunch of straight dudes on there. And the straight dudes are also, again, going back to them like preying on like queer guys. The straight dudes are using like the secret admirer feature on there and like saying that they admire these queer guys and everything, and then you match with them and you find out that it's a straight dude. Like, it's so annoying and frustrating, and I'm done with it. I'm just done. Now let's talk about the apps that I am presently on. I guess we'll start out with talking about Tinder. So let me give you guys a little present screenshot of my Tinder profile, because I have updated my profile since the initial first part of this video. So this is like my home screen here, and then I'm just gonna tap on my profile here. There's my last photo. I took out the photo of me with the buzz cut and the pink hair just simply because I put the Siren song in my hair, which I'm surprised that this color is holding up as well as it is right now. I've had it in my hair for about 2 weeks now, and it's still almost pretty much the exact same shade. And then I added some extra stuff to my bio, and then I also linked some of the artists that I have listened to a lot recently on Spotify on here, and so you can see those as well. I did have my Instagram linked on here, but I decided to take it off because, I don't know, I just didn't feel as if it was necessary, so I went ahead and took that on off. But yeah, so that is my Tinder profile now. My experiences with Tinder are actually really nice. I haven't really encountered like any fuckboys on there at all, I don't think. I mean, some of the conversations can kind of sort of start to skew a little towards sexual, but in the end it's just like just a random conversation, and the conversation just led there by accident and everything, but then things like skewed back on course and everything. Ultimately, my experiences on Tinder have actually been really pleasant, and I've had conversations with 3 guys in particular that were really nice and really cool. I haven't heard from one of them in a while. I'm going to see about messaging him probably later today to check and see how he's doing and seeing if he wants to keep talking or not. And then like the other 2 guys, like one guy I messaged him back yesterday, we had another conversation, and then one guy that I became good friends with through the app, he's been going through it lately, so he hasn't been popping on the app that often. One thing that I do find a little bit annoying though about the app is that Like, even if you match with people, it doesn't guarantee that they are going to want to have a conversation with you. And even if you make the first move, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to want to have a conversation with you, which is just a little bit annoying, wanting to make the first move. So if someone else makes the first move, like, just go with it. It's just a little frustrating to me, okay? Because I want to make conversations with people, because there are some people that I've matched with on there that I think are pretty interesting and everything, and that I want to have conversations with, yet nothing ever happens. But I also have seen some like accounts on Tinder that are just really interesting. Like, I've seen a lot of like meme type of accounts, like people just not taking the platform seriously at all. Like, I saw like this profile one day and I was just like, what? Why is this here? And I mean, it's funny. I love it. I think it's hilarious. But why? Then I came across this profile. Don't be like this dude, because this profile just made me so uncomfortable. I am gonna like censor out bits of like his information and whatnot, but don't do this, okay? This made me so extremely uncomfortable. Why? And especially for your leading photo on a dating app. No, don't put that on a dating app in general, but especially don't do it as your leading photo. Just no. Okay, so now let's move on to Scruff. So here's my profile. Again, just like with Tinder and like Grindr, I edited some things with my profile on here. So like I changed like the photo, and I had just had these 3 photos. I think I just had these 3 photos to begin with. Not these 3 specifically, but just 3 photos in general. That's what I meant to say. But I did edit what all was in my bio. I did change that up a bit, and added some extra stuff to it, just to make things just a little bit more interesting and whatnot. So yeah, so that is my bio on Scruff. My experiences with Scruff have been, again, quite pleasant for the most part. I did encounter some, like, I don't want to say like fuckboys, but some dudes that were clearly just messaging me because they want like the chance to like hook up and have sex and whatnot. Which, I mean, if that's your prerogative with using these particular platforms, by all means keep doing so. I'm not here to shame people as to what it is that they use these apps for. Like, you do what you want to do on them. Just be aware of the fact that not everyone's going to be down for the same things as you are. Something that has just like, I don't want to say it's annoyed me, but I just wish that it would have worked out better with using Scruff, is the fact that I started making conversations with people, and just when things start to get like really interesting, I'm getting like really invested in the conversations, they just ghost me. It's annoying. It's so annoying. Like, just when things start to actually get good and interesting, it just ends. And I haven't had any conversations last on Scruff. And I've tried like making conversations happen. I've made conversations continue and everything, and they just never go anywhere. And it's just, I understand that like some people are there just to chat for a hot minute. I understand, but it would be nice if they could just continue the conversation and everything. And with Scruff, I've noticed that a lot of the guys that I have communicated with on there, actually, not a lot of the guys, all of the guys have eventually just stopped messaging me. Even like people that I have messaged on there to try to get conversations to happen, I send them a message and they never respond to it. You woofed at me, which woof is a feature on Scruff where it's like a like and everything. Like, if you like someone's account, and then you can woof at them. And I like to thank people for woofing at me. It's just like a kind little gesture. It's a thing that I've picked up with being on like social media. Like, if someone gives me a shout out, I immediately like give them some love and want to like give them a shout out back. I mean, obviously on like these types of platforms you can't do that. So the least that you can do is just like thank them for that. I'll message them saying like, hey, thanks for the woof. How are you doing? nothing ever happens. It could be the fact that like Scruff maybe just isn't the right type of platform for me, or at least within my area. I did notice that a lot of the guys that are on Scruff are for the most part much older than I am. Like they're anywhere from like their early to mid 30s up into their upper 50s. Probably am just too young for the most part for the guys that are using this platform, but still I'm here to make like conversations and to make friends, and when it comes to those things, age isn't that much of an issue for me, just as long as you're not too much younger than me. Like I would say like 22 is the youngest that I would probably go when it comes to like making friends. Younger than that, it just makes me feel uncomfortable because I feel as if like I'm talking to a child, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable, like I'm like being a creeper, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Here is my Grindr profile. Like I said, I replaced that first photo and kept the last 3. I think I had 5 photos on here actually, and I might have taken away one of them. Can't remember. But yeah, those are the photos that I have on there now. And then for my bio is still like the same. I think I added my music though, my top songs from Spotify on here though. So yeah. Which those I put on there myself, so I wanted to put like songs that very much like reflect like my music tastes and whatnot. I probably should edit my bio and description about myself a little bit more, but almost every bio on Grindr is just very like brief and to the point like that. But I also wonder if maybe if I edit my bio a bit, it would attract more attention, because like I said, things have been pretty boring on Grindr lately. And it's one of the big drawbacks, in my opinion, compared to like Scruff, because of the fact that like with Scruff, you can view the people who have like viewed your account on Scruff, whereas on Grindr you can't. And so I feel as if that if you could do that for free on Grindr, I think I would probably like Grindr a whole lot more. Grindr is where I have gotten the most interaction from people on, and I think it's because of the fact that it is more well known. It is a very popular app amongst queer men, so it's definitely something that I expected to happen, but I didn't expect it to like drop off as quickly as it did either. But when you have like these types of apps where it shows you like the people that are nearby and whatnot, and those are the only people that you can communicate with, after a certain period of time, it's just like, I've already have seen this person, I might have already have messaged this person, I'm not interested. So that can very much easily be why things have dropped off for me so much on Grindr. Now I will say this, I have had a few interesting conversations on Grindr. I mean, yes, I have encountered a lot of dudes just wanting to get their dicks wet. Like, I had like one dude that couldn't take a hint that I wasn't interested in him, and he was like messaging me like every couple of days, multiple times in a row, each of those days that he decided to message me, and I wasn't responding to him at all. And it's just like, dude, if I'm not responding to you, clearly it means that I am not interested. But I have had like a few interesting conversations on Grindr though, and in fact I've made like 2 good friends through the app already, and there's a 3rd friend that I've made on there. We're still in that stage where it's just like we're getting to know each other and everything, we're learning bits about each other and whatnot. So I don't know how that'll go, but I know with the other 2 guys that I've become good friends with, like, things are going really nice with our friendships. But something that I've noticed a lot though about Grindr is that there are a lot of down low guys on Grindr, and there are a lot of blank profiles on Grindr, and there are a lot of bots on Grindr. Oh my god, the amount of times that I have gotten messages and taps from these bots saying that like, message me on like Snapchat and I'll hook you up with my Cash App to send you $500 a day or a week, or that I will pay your bills for the month. It's just like, what? But I feel like with Grindr as a whole, it does fall into its reputation of being a hookup app at this point because, like I mentioned, majority of the people whom have messaged me that are actual people are looking for hookups and looking to like fool around and whatnot. And like I mentioned earlier, if that's what you're into and that's your prerogative with using these platforms, by all means continue doing so. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But like I also mentioned earlier, don't get upset when people don't share the same sentiments. But at the same time though, I do feel as if Grindr isn't necessarily as full-blown of a hookup app as people have made it out to be. Because I mean, like I said, I have made a few like decent friendships already through the app. Am I going to continue using these apps? I'm going to continue using Tinder, Scruff, and Grindr for now. I'll probably stop using them after a while because like I said, things have gotten, I don't want to say stale, but things have gotten a bit like quiet on them. Also have started seeing like ads for another dating app called Hinge. And I have heard about Hinge, but I haven't heard that much about it. I might try it out later in time. And probably do like an extension of this. I might do like an extension of this experiment, like a part 2, like maybe further down the road. And I decided to try out like the premium features for these platforms and try out those premium features for a month and then do like a follow-up then. And then when I do that, I'll also use Hinge because I not only have seen ads for it, but I also had someone, actually no, I think I've had like 2 people tell me that I should give Hinge a go and try it out. But I also have heard that Hinge is like full of a lot of attractive people. I hope you guys found this video interesting and fun and different. I know it's very, very different from what I've done on this channel in the past, but I wanted to try something new and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I got a fuck ton of editing I gotta do because I think I had like an hour's worth of footage to look through with the first part of this video. I have an hour's worth of footage to look through with this part of the video. So, ooh, I got a lot of editing to do. And then I got like my screenshots and everything I gotta throw into this shit too. Man, it's gonna be a lot. This is gonna be a hefty video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video though, and I hope you guys like seeing something different. We're gonna be going back to having like regular beauty related content possibly next week. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't know what I'm going to be filming next week though for this channel, so yeah. But until I see you guys in my next video, whenever the hell that may be, goodbye.